Today was a very interesting day for Bbig stock. I suspect we saw some clear manipulation. I saw certain things in the stock action that every time we started really moving up, we saw a whole lot of volume and the stock really pushed down ridiculously quick, big candles. I want to go over that. We're going to talk over the action. We're going to talk over the short interest of the stock, some key points of resistance that I found. We're also going to end the video by speaking about SENS stock and why that is currently trading downwards, as well as look at the stock action for that as well. So stick around to the whole video because I think you're going to like what I have for you. And please smash the like button if you could do so. I'd really appreciate it. Now let's start off with the stock action. As you can see at the start of the day, we did have a sell-off, but then the stock did quickly bounce back. We pushed back and we came back to all-time highs. Then after that, sharp selling off and the stock did continue to trend downwards and we ended up closing at $9.79 in the after hours. So it wasn't good to see us drop back down underneath $10. However, unfortunately that did happen. Now, if we look at the chart, we can see this $10 range. I do think it's very important. I think particularly $10.10, I do think that's a key number. And hopefully we bounce back straight up on top of that, because I would like to see us spike back up on top of that, climb back up over $11.28. And if we can consolidate and bounce between these two marks here, I think that will be very healthy for the stock. Before we squeeze, we break through that and continue pushing up. Why I say there's possibly manipulation here is because we did break through that 1168, and when we did, you can see it was a whole lot of buying. The stock pushed to all-time highs, but then look at this candle. Look how much red, how much selling, the amount of selling volume right there. And I do think that must be big players really selling off to push that down, because as you can see, we spiked up, sell straight back down, then we did manage to recover again, consolidating sideways over this 1128 range, which is where I like to see us right now. But then once again we saw a massive spike down, a massive sell-off, and it's almost like an L shape. That's how drastic and how obvious it is. What I do like is we were able to bounce around every time we had a big sell-off. We were able to bounce around, and that does suggest to me that the traders, they're not scared, they're happy to hold this stock for the long term, and that's the type of mentality, that's the type of trading we need if we do see a short squeeze. If we don't bounce back up above this $10.10 a share range, I'm not confident that we'll be able to stay above $8.27. I think if we bounce through, we could just keep selling off and consolidate, possibly even going back down to $7.77, which is where we've been bouncing between over these past few days, between the $7.70 and $8.27 range. I think they're key numbers, and I do think if we drop and stay below $10.10, hopefully on market open in the pre-market, we push back up, jump between that, hopefully even getting above 11.28. That will be super bullish for the stock. If we don't do that and we continue to fall through, I don't see much support before that $8.27 range. Do I necessarily think that's going to happen? No, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to play out like that at all. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying, looking at the chart, looking at how this stock's been trading, I've been looking at this stock a lot recently. I do feel that if we can't get above that $10.10 range, it's not going to be easy to stay above this $8.27 range. And even more so, we could be back at 777. So hopefully we stay above it, come even above $11.28. And if we do break through that, hopefully we stay between that range and 11.68 before continuing pushing up. We see the short squeeze occur and we can see this stock really get into the high numbers that we're invested for. And another possibility for those big red candles, the big selling, is look at the amount of short volume there was traded. 93.4 million shares traded, and that is drastically higher to anything we've seen over the past few days, as you can see. So I mean, on the 7th, the short volume was 34.5 million. Well, that became 93 million. So the shorts are buying in heavy, and I do think that that would actually be beneficial for us, because when we see that short squeeze, it could be epic. So like I said, hopefully we trade between those numbers and we see the short squeeze happen. I do predict that we're going to either break $10.10, which we will push back up, or stay beneath that and we'll be hopefully and we could be down to that $8 range again pretty quick, which is not a good thing. If we want to talk about SENS stock, again, SENS also did have a red day, down 2.84%. And like I've said in my SENS update videos, every time we cover Senseonics holdings, I say until we hear news, we've got the earnings coming up. That's another catalyst we're looking forward to. Until we hear news about the FDA approval or any clinical trials or anything like that, maybe a new things happening with Essentia, I do suspect that the stock will keep trading sideways, maybe even consolidate a bit. Until we get that FOMO, that's what we want to see. We want people starting to buy in, getting excited for that FDA approval. Remember that FDA approval was expected around mid-October. Now it's expected anywhere before the end of the year. So when people start getting excited for that, buying in and pushing the stock up. And if we look at how the stock's been trading recently, I do see that we're pushing down, okay? We broke down underneath 390, and that isn't good at all. Breaking through between 90, we came all the way back down up until 364. Now, hopefully, finishing the day at 377, hopefully we keep above 371. Because if we break through 371, unfortunately, I do think we're coming back down to this 364 range. On the other hand, if we're able to pick up, push back up over 390, I do think that is bullish for this stock, and I think we will see some more gains made, but nothing crazy. This isn't a short squeeze play. This isn't anything crazy. We're not going to see any really crazy volatility or crazy price action until we start getting closer to that FDA approval date. Don't be surprised if next month is the month that people really start talking, people really start getting exciting, because we're going to be in the final quarter, the final home stretch. And when we see that FDA approval, again, you need to remember this is risky. Okay, the stock is up a lot. Both these stocks are risky plays. But if we see that FDA approval, we might not get it. I do think we're going to see big moves for this stock. And I do think we're going to see that $10 a share range. I'm super bullish on SENS. I am invested in the company, as you know. If we do drop down, particularly if we get down to this 364 cent a share range, I am absolutely buying that up. As long as nothing changes in the company, I'm taking advantage of that. I'm buying that up, and I'm hoping to 3x my money off that FDA approval. So a quick update on Bbig and SENS stock. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments, what are your price predictions for both these companies, and I will see you in the next video.